Especially from a Hollywood perspective, the 1970s are arguably one of, if not the best decade for movies. New Hollywood was in full swing, and when combined with more brilliant work from around the world, the decade was full of all-time great films. Today I'm going to do bite-sized reviews for some of my favourites from the decade. Starting off with The French Connection. This movie is one of the all-time great crime thrillers. It follows two New York City narcotics detectives, played by Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider, as they pursue a French heroin smuggler, played by Fernando Rey. It's one of the numerous great films set in New York City in the 1970s, when the city was grappling with urban decay, bankruptcy, and high crime rates. It has everything I love about New Hollywood cinema. Brilliant location shooting, a willingness to explore morally grey characters, and an all-around practical feeling that gives this the texture of a documentary. It has one of the best car chases of all time, and is an absolute clinic in staging action sequences. Just like the main character Popeye Doyle, the film is freewheeling and unrestrained, and the end result is a standout thriller and also an engrossing historical snapshot. To a modern audience, it might come across as the tropes of the crime genre and not much else, but like so many other great films, this response speaks to just how influential it is. Barry Lyndon. Every one of us has a different taste in movies. We have certain subjects, certain actors, styles, settings, ideas and themes that we like to see. For me, Stanley Kubrick is a filmmaker that transcends taste. As Martin Scorsese put it, watching a Kubrick film is like gazing up at a mountaintop. You look up and wonder, how could anyone have climbed that high? When I watch a movie by Stanley Kubrick, any bias or negative predisposition I might have to the subject matter is outweighed by the sheer brilliance of the film. Most of his movies have this quality of objective greatness that is hard to deny. Audiences might not have liked similar films in the past, but Kubrick's masterful direction far outweighs any preference or inclination. This is why I think that a person who wouldn't usually be inclined to watch a 3-hour period piece set in 18th century England would still like Barry Lyndon. And I count myself in this group. For me, period pieces can sometimes be a bit hit or miss, but Barry Lyndon cements itself among the great films with superb production design and groundbreaking cinematography. This movie is vivid and detailed, and is a joy to watch unfold over its 3-hour runtime. The film is presented in the same sense of aristocratic grandeur in which these characters live, which makes their eventual downfall powerfully expose the fallacy of their lifestyle. To me, this is a story about how you can own everything yet have nothing. Barry climbs to the top of the social ladder in pursuit of raw status and wealth, but he retreats from this world with arguably less than he entered it with. This pursuit of material has led him to nothing but a life of bitterness. The Taking of Pelham 123. This is another excellent movie set in 1970s New York City. It's about a group of criminals that hijack an entire subway car, taking the occupants hostage and demanding $1 million in ransom. It takes place within the subway infrastructure and on the streets of the city, successfully balancing comedy and serious tension as the hijackers try to escape with the money and the police try to save the hostages. Not only is the core premise of the hijacking executed well, the movie differentiates the characters on either side of the law. At its core, it's a cops and robbers story, but the movie makes a point to show the disagreements between the hijackers and the bureaucracy in coordinating the police response. This sets up a compelling third act and means that the story is still interesting when we're not in the hijacked subway train. This is a movie that could well be immersed in B-movie territory, weighed down by cliché and plot convenience, but it knows when to be on the lighter side and when to be serious, and treats its premise with a pragmatism that elevates this movie well above forgettable. Serpico. Another one set in New York City, Serpico is the movie that solidified Al Pacino as one of my favourite actors. Coming right off the heels of The Godfather, his charisma here is off the charts. Pacino plays Frank Serpico, a police officer attempting to blow the whistle on the rampant corruption in the NYPD at this time. He floats through the movie with a laid-back charisma that makes his performance look easy, and his costumes and hairstyles alone make this worth watching. It's a true story, and effectively portrays Serpico's uphill battle as his efforts to improve the police force are undermined by his colleagues. Like The French Connection and The Taking of Pelham 123, it's shot on brilliant locations, not being afraid to go outside and explore the city, which gives it a realistic lived-in feel and shows corruption in the context of the whole city, as well as the police force. Derzu Uzela. After a series of personal problems and box office disappointments in Japan, the great Akira Kurosawa went to the Soviet Union to make Derzu Uzela. Set in the early 20th century in the Russian Far East, it's about explorer Captain Arseniev and nomadic hunter Derzu Uzela, as Derzu guides Arseniev on a mapping expedition in Siberia. It's a moving story about friendship across cultural and ethnic divides, but the biggest strong point for me is the landscapes and how they're incorporated into the story. The relationship between the two human characters is a major part of the movie, but the environments they traverse makes this a three-character story. The landscapes of the Russian Far East interact with the characters, threatening and sustaining them in equal measure, but never wavering in their beauty. It was a difficult production with almost an entire year of shooting in the wilderness, but it was worth it. Watching this is like seeing rain, snow and sunlight for the first time, resulting in an incredibly textured, colourful and wild feeling movie. There's so many other great films from this era that I didn't cover in this video, so subscribe and you'll be the first to know when I discuss them in the future. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed.